Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the course. Thank you so much for following along so far. I hope everything's going well. I hope you're having fun. So, in this section, we are going to be installing our first, guest, our first virtual machine, setting it up. We are going to be installing our macOS guest. So, to do that, pull up UTM, which I already have it pulled up here. This is another, so I already have it pulled up here. What you're going to do now is if you don't have it or if you don't see it down here in your dock area, I have it here. When I downloaded it, I just moved it over. If you don't see it here, you can go to Finder, you can go to Application, and there it is. There's utm.app. You can look it up here. You can also search it if you can't find it, and it should show up there in applications. But yeah, so that's how you get UTM. You just click on it, it'll come up. So now we are in UTM, our virtualization environment. In order to start creating our first guest, we can go, you could click over here. I'll just click the plus sign over here. You can select that, and we will select virtualize. Then we will select macOS 12 Plus. So basically this will it's already kind of pre-configured, as you can see. So this will grab, it will grab whatever version we are running on our operating system. It will virtualize it. So for instance, for mine, it will grab Sonoma. So that's my latest operating system. For you, I don't know, it might be different. It might be Ventura, whichever one you are running on. Chances are, if you're doing this on a MacBook, you're probably running Sonoma, I hope, because that's the latest operating system, so you want to keep things safe and secure. So regardless, you do macOS 12 Plus. So the IPSW here, what it's asking for, the recovery IPSW, we actually do not have to worry about going to find this and downloading it. Because as it says, it will provide it for you. If you do not select an existing IPSW, the latest macOS IPSW will be downloaded from Apple. So basically it will download the latest one. So this is fine. You can leave it as default. You just hit continue. Now for allocating memory and CPU, the hardware side of stuff. So basically this, if you haven't done virtualization before, if this is your first time, it's basically virtualizing what you have on your system, So you always want to make sure you have enough and you allocate enough to the virtual machine, because virtual machines are they can be pretty buggy. So, or, lagging. So for our lab, I suggest giving it a little bit more. So 8 is fine. Even the default's okay, but I like to give it a little bit more so that way the setup and everything can run fast, just giving it a little bit more oomph. So I'm going to give mine 10, and then I'm also going to do the CPU. I'm not going to leave default. I'm just going to give it 2. So again, we are doing malware analysis, and we're not going to be running too much heavy stuff. The tools aren't super heavy, but just so everything can go smooth and nice and easy, I suggest giving it a good amount for whatever you can afford, because, as you see here, my system, about this Mac, I have 36 gigabytes, so I can, I have plenty, but, if I want to do another virtual machine, I just want to make sure I have enough for that too, especially if I run them at the same time. So yeah, so give it whichever amount works best for you. For me, I'm going to do 10 and 2 for this course. So you can just hit continue. And for storage, just for the disk space, you can just leave as default. I'm just going to leave it as default, because again, we're testing malware and stuff into it, so it doesn't have to be super fancy. So I'm just going to hit continue. And then for this, everything else is default, so we can't really change those, which is fine. For the name, however, we want to change that, and we're going to label it give it ammob, so applied Mac OS malware analysis, the name of the lab, so we know that this is for our lab. And we do Mac OS, and we'll put guest. So go ahead and label that. And then when everything's good, we can just hit save, and it will create our Mac OS. As you can see, it will take a little bit. As I said, UTM is open source, so it won't be as fast as, VMware Parallels, but that's fine. So we're going to let that download, and then I will see you in the next section where we're going to be setting up our macOS guest, and then following that, we will learn how to isolate it, create like a safe networking, a safe environment for us to detonate our malware, because you want to make sure it's isolated, because these are pretty deadly samples, for your device. So yeah, so I will see you in the next section. You can just let it download. It'll take a little bit. Go do your laundry or workout or whatever. If your computer's lacking in the battery, have it charged, and I will see you back for the next section. So where we will be setting up our macOS once it's downloaded. So thank you, and see you in the next section.